attended a lot of teach meets before, and I wanted to feel inspired. I wanted to, be involved with professional learning with people that I might not normally be associated with.
What I'm hoping to get out of today is some new strategies to apply in the classroom, but also to look at the new direction that teaching and learning is going in the Sydney Catholic School Diocese over the next few years.
It's holidays now, so I need to program for next term and hopefully program better than I did at the start of the year.
I think today I wanted to get a different perspective on the application and the use of authentic learning, to see not just what it's about, but it's how I can implement that into my classroom and inspire other staff to do the same, to better enhance the learners that we are producing in this 21st century learning model.
I think it's not a bad way of connecting with all that we think is important about learning, with the kind of learning that's really going to allow our students, as our statement says, to live lives of promise and meaning in a rapidly changing world. And that's an expression that came from somebody in a school as we put the statement together. Lives of promise and meaning in a rapidly changing world.
So I'm going to do a real sprint through two issues. One is to get a better understanding of how your brain actually learns. And the second thing is, what do we do with that? What's the actual process of learning?
How are we going to actually bring about change? I suppose in launching the authentic assessment statement this afternoon, I really want to start with that as the big message. This is something that is change. And if after 2 years, after 5 years and after 10 years, there isn't significant cultural shift, the whole process has been a failure.
What is the process of learning? And actually, when you ask that question, you think it'd be a fairly straightforward response, an answer as such. But it's not straightforward at all.
Whilst we might think that education has changed a lot over the years, that it really hasn't changed enough, and in fact it probably hasn't changed very much at all.
I found myself deeply engaged, particularly through the message that it's very hard to have students and teachers in the pit, so to speak, without having the skills and the competencies and capacity through which they can learn in the pit.
One of the key things I took from Mark's presentation was emotion and how the brain links to experiences, and I'd like to think that in my own classroom, real world experiences and teaching through that sort of model enhances the learning and deepens the knowledge and learning that students walk away with.
It was challenging, but it was also very empowering the way he made that statement. He really was saying to us, you should feel proud and free to go out and make some changes and do things in a way that's different and more motivating and to make things more interesting for students and to engage them in their learning much more.
As practitioners, we need to understand each other, we need to share with each other, and we need to empower each other in being able to bring about authentic learning in our classroom. And these sorts of symposium where we not only gain information but share information is a really important part of empowering us as teachers and really improving our practice as teachers, not only in our schools but down to the level of our classroom with our students.
The school leaders, the RECs, the APs, perhaps the young first year out teachers could come along and not only gain some ideas from what we're talking about today, but share their own thoughts. And they're the ones that have had the recent experiences on the other side of the chalk. They've been students more recently than me, so they perhaps would be in a position to contribute a great deal to a conversation around authentic learning.
I think I really have to restructure the way I think so that I can restructure the way my kids think and to help them be successful learners.
I would absolutely recommend that other teachers come along to these sorts of symposium and teach meets on authentic learning as well.
It gives us an opportunity to learn from each other, learn and see how it can be enacted in real life situations in schools with students, and also the freedom and the possibility of creating this new future together.